Hi, this is Brenda and Elaine.
Welcome to our After the Show episode, where we go deeper into what we learned from our conversations with guests.
Today we're talking about our conversation with Yetti, who is another woman who just really worked to make herself healthy. And she had some serious struggles. And I feel like it's unfortunate that Black women always have to be so strong. And we are, and we can do it, but I just feel sad that we have to do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, she's an example of even from childhood, just really having to step up and take care of family members and stuff. But my main takeaway from her is that a mental health diagnosis is so helpful. You know, even though it might be something you don't want to hear, or it might be something that you have to take some time to accept and embrace, it was when she got her bipolar diagnosis that she was able to get the support she needed, take the medicine she needed, you know, create processes and systems that allowed her to be healthy and well.
And also to forgive herself and not feel like there's something wrong with her. And that's what she suffered from a lot, you know, feeling like, man, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do what everybody around me is doing? And I think getting that diagnosis helps to explain that and relieve that sort of pressure on yourself, which I think helps her to accept all the things that would make her better.
Yeah, and so my hope is that people who listen to the episode will then, if they're struggling with something, if they think something's going wrong or is not operating correctly with their mental health, that they go get it checked out. You know, that they find out what is going on so they can get the help they need.
It's some days I do feel like I could really benefit from talking to a therapist, you know, not that I have a diagnosis, which I might, but that some mental health support is something that we can all use. And I know that, but I have yet to actually pursue that.
Well, I've pursued it. It's hard to find. I mean, that's the thing, is that I really think it can be beneficial to a lot of people, even if you don't have a diagnosed disorder, right? You know, I've gone to counseling a couple of times at major transitions in my life, and it's been incredibly helpful to have an objective third party. So it's not you, it's not O'Neill, it's not people who love and care about me. It's an objective third party who can sort of give me perspectives to help me navigate.
So many of our guests have said that, and you know, I know it's true, but I think you're right. It's hard to actually sometimes access or know how to access.
So we'll have some links about the places that she used to find her therapist.
Yeah, she also, as many of our guests, had support of community, which really made a huge difference. You know, when she was at school, the Office of Minority Affairs, the women there helped her. Her friends and sorority sisters were a big part of supporting her. So again, we know having people in your life that you're connected with is a good way to make life better.
Right, and you can be that person and you can have that person. So just building community is great for life experience, but then when these tough times comes, it's who you lean on is those close people in your community.
Yeah, and now Yetti, it looks like she's financially stable again. She's doing things professionally that she enjoys and is successful at.
She told me she just bought a house. Yeah. This is what I wish, is that the Yetti who was in college could see the Yetti of today, who is healthy and in control and thriving. And I think for all of us, there's that old saying, trouble don't last always, right? If you're in the middle of a really tough time, if you can just imagine that this isn't going to last always and envision the better time, sometimes that makes it easier to get through.
Yeah, I think our first season guest Janice said that best when she said, I wish that I could show myself in college all the wonderful things that I'm doing today. And I think you're right. When we're in the middle of struggles, it's so hard to see out of it. I don't know what is the best way to tell somebody to see out of it.
I don't know either, but I think there is some comfort in just knowing this too shall pass.
Right.
Right. And I remember various friends who were going through tough times just saying, this isn't going to last always. Just knowing that. And even for myself, just saying, right now, all I can do is put one foot in front of the other and figure out a solution to whatever I'm going through. Yes. Well, thank you, Yetti, for being on the Body Wealth podcast.
Hopefully listening to stories like Yetti's will be one way that people will see that you can come through these really difficult times.
Got to make the effort, but you can come through. My last thought on Yetti is this idea of how we think about mental health. And so if somebody has an allergy, say they're allergic to peanuts, they don't think, oh, I got to power through this. I got to learn how to eat peanuts without an EpiPen and da-da-da-da-da. They just are like, well, this is how my body reacts to peanuts, and so I have to avoid peanuts and manage it, right? But somehow when it's a mental disorder, oftentimes the person with the condition is like, as Yetti said, I've got to power through. I just need to be mentally stronger. And it makes me sad. I wish that they could reframe it for themselves and really think, well, this is what my brain does, and this is the help my brain needs in order for me to be healthy, and just make it really neutral like an allergy.
Well, I think society reframing it would help individuals reframe it for themselves, for sure. And taking medicine for mental issues is no different than taking medicine for your physical issues. And I know she struggled with that as well, because same old stigma, She didn't want to be the one on those meds, but once she started taking them, it made a difference. And I think feeling the way that she is now and living the life that she is, she's just grateful that she did that. So you're right, we have to open our minds to new ways of thinking about things.
Let us know what you learned from this guest.
If you want to support Body Wealth, please subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd also love it if you give us a 5-star rating and write a review letting us know what you love about the show.
The Body Wealth podcast shares personal stories to inspire you. It does not constitute medical advice. For that, we encourage you to work with a trusted healthcare provider.